Hi, it's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for another double feature Friday. And this week I'm talking about two Charles Bronson films. And those films are Farewell Friend, which is also starring Alain Delon, and 10 to Midnight. So first off, I have to get this out of the way. I'm really embarrassed to admit that these are, Farewell Friend is the first Bronson film that I've ever watched. And immediately after, we watched 10 to Midnight because I just enjoyed this film so much, especially Charles Bronson's performance. And I felt like, wow, this is a huge blind spot in my film watching. And I need to rectify this immediately, and now I'm probably gonna go down this huge rabbit hole and watch as many Bronson films as I can, which is really fun. That's exciting to sort of discover a new thing. Like, I feel like as much, even though I only really like watching older films, and sometimes that feels like, well, this is probably gonna come to an end one day when I run out of older films to watch. I think actually now is a really super exciting time with all these boutique labels, and they all want to restore these old films, and it seems like I'm actually never gonna run out of films to watch. I just never will. There will always be something new to discover. Let's talk about Farewell Friend first. I ordered this as somewhat of a blind buy. I don't know where I have heard about this film in a couple different places, I think, because it was really in my head and I just had to see it. We've been watching a lot of Delon films. They're so good. Most of the ones we've seen were directed by Jean-Pierre Melville, which, if that's a genre or a director you haven't gotten into, I highly recommend him. He directs mostly, he's French, so his films are all French. Alain Delon is French also, but they're mostly sort of French heist movies. And they're all beautiful, beautiful films, I would have to say. I haven't seen a Melville film that I don't like. They're just really good. You won't be disappointed, I think. So that was kind of the driving force. And then I was interested because I hadn't seen any Bronson films, and I thought this seemed like an interesting pairing to me that they were in this film together. So this film came out in 1968, and it was directed by Jean I don't know, I'm trying to say it in French. Jean Herman. It is an English film. It's kind of surprising because I don't think that Alain Delon has really been in any non-French films. I was surprised that there weren't subtitles, but there aren't. And it is also a heist movie. I would say it's a heist movie that turns into like a murder frame up. Bronson and Delon, their characters, are being discharged from the army, the French Foreign Legion. And Bronson's character really sees something in Delon's character and is like, hey, I'm going to the Congo with a small group of guys, and we're gonna do this job there, and we're gonna split the money 13 ways, and probably people will die, and you should come. So he did see something in Delon. Alain Delon plays Dr. Dino Baron. He sees something in Baron. Baron turns it down because he already has another job lined up, and he is going to return some stolen bonds to a safe. So they kind of go their separate ways, but then they reconnect in a weird way, and I don't really want to spoil the film because, I mean, it won't really spoil the enjoyment of watching it, but I just sometimes think it's fun to find things out as you're watching it. It's a great film. I was really surprised at the physicality of Charles Bronson. Both these guys are very agile, and I think this is totally worth a watch. It's a fun film. I give it like a 3.5 or 4 out of 5. It's really good. It's enjoyable. So the second film that I watched was 10 to Midnight, and in this film, Charles Bronson plays a lieutenant on the police force, and there's a serial killer or a slasher on the loose, and he's killing young women. Bronson is looking for this killer. It's a really more of a slasher film. It's like a slasher film and a serial killer, crime, whodunit, police procedural, which I really liked. This film came out in 1983, and it was directed by J. Lee Thompson. It also stars Andrew Stevens as Paul McCann, who's Bronson's partner, like a newbie cop partner. Rookie, I guess they're called. Gene Davis plays Warren Stacy, the killer. And I think actually this guy was perfect casting or perfect acting. He has this way of like seeming charming and handsome and someone who could easily kind of like trick a woman into trusting him or wanting to go on a date with him. But then he can so easily turn to just being this creepy guy. And I thought it was so well done. He also commits all his crimes or all his murders fully naked, so he had to be naked for a lot of this movie. My only complaint or nitpick is that they don't at any point sort of show like a full frontal nudity, which I think would have been kind of shocking and would have also maybe shown sort of the aggressiveness of like being a woman confronted by this completely naked man who's also coming to kill you. I think that's almost even more terrifying than a fully clothed man coming to kill you, which might seem weird, but for me that would be the case. I don't know, maybe they did it because near the beginning of the film, after the first victim is found, they say she wasn't raped or anything like that, and Bronson's character says yeah, because with someone like this, his knife is his penis, so he's not trying to have sex. It's the murdering that's like the penetration. From that perspective, maybe you don't need to see the full frontal nudity, but I still think it adds this level of terror as a woman to be confronted with a naked man that you don't want to be seeing. It could have been in there. I think it's kind of like at this point in time that wasn't in the 80s, I don't know, where American films, I don't think there was that much male full frontal nudity, which I think was actually the reason why they didn't show it. I kind of just wish they did it, especially because there is one part near the end where they almost do, and then they sort of like, it's like artfully shot, so you don't. Okay, all right, so full disclosure, I must have accidentally deleted the ending of this video. So this is future Heather popping in to give you the exciting conclusion of my thoughts on 10 to Midnight, which I realized I only talked about the full frontal nudity or lack thereof. So I don't need to talk about that anymore. Charles Bronson's performance was really amazing, and I didn't talk about this at all, but it also involves his character and his daughter. So his daughter then becomes the target of this serial killer. And I thought this was a great movie. The big set piece at the end was pretty suspenseful and stressful to watch. I recommend this movie, 10 to Midnight. I think it's a great film. I would give it, I think a 3 point. I can't give it a higher score than Farewell Friend because Orlando Long's in it, and that's, you know, that film is, I think, slightly better. This one is a little bit more campy with kind of this slasher element to it, but it's still a really good film. I say it's totally worth checking out. But yes, so that's it for me for this week. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. What Bronson film do you recommend I check out next? I think that's it for me. Bye for now.